common problem which we see nowadays, and atopy means out of place or strange or to signify the hereditary tendency to develop allergies to food and inhalant. In 1925, this term was introduced by Gupta. Also known as asthma eczema syndrome, family history or personal history of collateral allergies like asthma, eczema, hay fever, etc. are normally present along with it, or the same way alternate. Symptoms, which we see it is characterized by selective flexible disturbance, distribution of extreme chronicity with acute exacerbation from time to time, and a familiar personal allergic predisposition and a very sensitive emotional nature has been found. The eczematous process is usually the result of endogenous sensitization, but exogenous allergy may play a very important part. Now, coming to the role of homeopathy, besides allergy, emotional stress and parental attitudes can also cause this condition. The case which I am going to present will show the actual problem of the parents leading into a problem of a child. In the morning session, we were talking about intrauterine problem and having the effect on the children or the child. But here, when the parents have been already there and they are disharmony, how it affects the child is the case. Parents are usually the anxious type, and the patient is usually very sensitive and highly strung, but often very intelligent. Homeopathic medicines have an important role to play in its treatment. Nowadays, we do come across children who are having these problems, or the commonest things which we are using synthetics in form of clothes, drugs, food. They are one of the predisposing factors. Any external irritation, sudden change of temperature, excessive bathing, vigorous rubbing, insufficient cleanliness, especially in diaper area, local infections, irritating secretion, and medicated oils are to be avoided. When we talk of from a homeopathic point of view, giving only medicine is not the point. We need to educate our patients. As we were talking about the maintaining causes, the maintaining causes still remains. Despite of our best medication, patient may have the recurrence of the problem. So that is why it becomes very important for us to make the patient aware of do's and don'ts. Mechanical restraints may be used as time on springs over elbow to prevent the child's hand from scratching his face, which you can see in the slide. The patient has been, the hand of the child has been tied with this waist and glove. Despite of that, here I could see that lesions where the bleeding has occurred. Olive oil on absorbent cotton may be used for cleansing. Genitals, buttocks should be kept dry and clean. Clean with vegetable or mineral oil and powder the cornstarch. In case where specific food allergies are implicated, dietary restrictions are in order. Useful homeopathic remedies are this, I think we can skip. Now coming to the case straight away. This is a case of a small child, Kashmi Luthra, 11 months old, and she was brought to me on 9th March 2010. The presenting complaints were the child was brought with numerous reddish eruptions all over the body with severe itching, and there were a lot of blood oozing from various lesions. Now this was the first day when the child was brought to me, and you can see the state of the child having various lesions in various forms. So the history of presenting complaints, eruptions appeared for the first time on her head and both cheeks when she was just 4 months old. She used to scratch, and gradually the eruptions spread all over the body, involving her face, all the 4 limbs, ears, trunk, and the back. At times there was discharge of blood from the eruptions when she used to scratch. There were severe itching which used to be worse at night. She was a case of cesarean delivery, as the mother had gestational diabetes detected in the 7th month of pregnancy, and she was while she was carrying her. Child was given mother's feed only up to 4 months. Family history: parental grandmother had leukodama, maternal grandmother has diabetes mellitus, mother gestational diabetes, and Bua depression. Nowadays we do see not many cases where the family history, as we've been seeing in the previous session, of cancer or other things, depression, they do have some impact on the forthcoming children of our generation also. We need to see that. Physical journals, appetite reduced. She used to take milk only. Thirst was good. Stool remains constipated. Passes stool in small balls. Urine nothing significant. Sleep disturbed due to itching. Mental journals, she was crying while bathing. Otherwise, she used to be playful. She would soil her clothes a lot, and sometimes she used to get cranky. Going through the revitalization, we have taken this, skin itching words at night, eruption, bleeding, scratching after, stomach appetite, vomiting, stool, balls like, mind, washing, aversion to wash, and mind, untidy. Sulfur, soranum, calcaria, nidirium were the drugs on the top scale. Sulfur was the one which has given all the symptoms and maximum number of points. The first prescription which we gave was sulfur 6, one dose, and followed by Saclap. Followed on 24th of March, itching had reduced, severity of the lesion had also reduced. Sulfur 6 was given again one dose. On 2nd April, her hemoglobin was checked up, which was 8.8 gram, and the IgE level which we got it checked up, it was 137.34. She had a history of fever at the age of 4 months, and she took an allopathic treatment for that. Mother had low BP during almost all the pregnancy period, and itching had further reduced. These were the symptoms which we were trying to get it from time to time. This was a case when she started showing some improvement. On 4th of May, found to be allergic to milk in allergy test, which we got the allergic test done, comprehensive, and she was found allergic to milk where the level had was being 0.44. The normal should be remaining less than 0.34. She had offensive stools, though had started taking solid feed, especially after milk. She would get that loose stool or diarrhea after milk. Considering this milk intolerance and a heavy problem, I gave a dose of Natum Khal. On 14th June, status quo, there was not much of a change, but parents complained that she had started behaving very differently off late. Now, this was a turning point. Appetite has gone down. She has become very irritable, and she often sends the parents out and wants to stay alone and be happy. She would be happy by herself. Now, this was the time when I asked, like, she was a playful earlier when she came initially. What happened? That was the time I was told by her mother, because the parents, they were a marital discord, they used to fight often and have some one small thing, there have been some altercation, which probably is what we understand. The child used to detest and she started hating her parents. Where was, instead of giving that attention to the child, they had been spending time in fighting with each other. That was the time when I thought of giving a dose of CPR. CPR was the dose, 30 potency, one dose was given, followed by Saclap. And after that particular, giving a CPR, there had been a remarkable change in her skin also, which you can see on these pictures. On 28th of June, the observation was irritability is slightly better, appetite is still the same, itching is slight in the lesion, CPR 31 dose was again given. On 27th of September, the child was much better, no more itching and no lesions have almost gone, much more happy and joyful now, and appetite also much better. Again, repeated a dose of CPR 30. And on 8th of November, when we got the test done, her hemoglobin had come up to 11.8, which was 8.8 earlier. Her IgE level, which was 137.4, it came down to 87, and the child was doing much better in all respects, which you can see from the pictures of at various stages. But now I would like to tell you this saddest part. Though the child has become completely alright, but her parents are not staying together. And despite of this, the child, Kashi says, thanks to homeopathy, at least she has been taken care of, she has been cured, but CPR could not unite the parents. This is where I feel, because it was a child who was being treated, not the parent. Had the parents been treated by homeopathy, probably we could have helped. Thank you very much.